Good evening and Jai Hind. Good evening and Jai Hind. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, Jai Hind. Yes, so I hope all of you are doing well. I am quite good. I hope all of you are also doing quite well. Good evening. So last day we had a discussion. I have asked you that you will be telling me more about the maps which you have done. I think I have given you this task that you will be telling me about the maps which you are covering. So that is again one question. That have you done some maps? Last day, many of you have told me that you have started with the map related to classical dance form. Some of you have also done with respect to the rivers of India. Yes, you can ask your question. Yes, you can ask your question. Okay, so major tribes, folk dance, wetlands also. Wetlands are 85 in number right now. Okay, Ganga river system, that is also good. So major tribes we have got, folk dances we have got, wetlands also. Then we have got the Ganga river system. Anything else? UNESCO cultural heritage sites in India, that is also good point. The nuclear power points, rivers of India, classical dance, diamond area. Okay. See, the main purpose here is to make sure that you are able to memorize all these things in form of pictographic memory, so that when it is asked in the examination, you can use this to write the answers in mains also, and even in the prelims you can solve the questions on basis of it. Okay, so that is the main objective. And yes, some of you have done the work, many more are still to do, but yes, we will have this mapping session also. We will try to do this from the next week Monday, that I will give you at least one map on daily basis, where I will show you what areas you can denote. So right now, if you are starting from the month of this, I think this is perhaps November 19th. So suppose in the next week, even if we are starting from 24th of November, still you have got plenty of time. And if you are done with at least 30 to 40 maps denoting different things, you can be sure about a minimum of 10 to 15 questions from there. Minimum of 10 to 15 questions. Okay. So that is one series also which we will run along with the current affairs which we are having right now. Okay. Yes, so tell me. National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary. Yes, you can ask your question. You can post your question simply. Now, in today's session, what topics which we are going to talk about? Of course, there is going to be a discussion about the air pollution levels in Delhi. The second topic which we are going to discuss about is the recusal of judges. Recently, what we have seen that the CJI, the Chief Justice of India, he has recused himself from one case related to DDA. Okay. So that is one thing which we are again going to discuss. Third thing is G20 Summit. That is also something which we are going to discuss about. And then we will also discuss about this location, Horn of Africa. These are the 4 different topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay. Okay, you can ask this question at the end also, like managing college course and class of UPSC. So yes, I will talk about this time management issue. I think for specific people, there can be a specific issue of time management. But yes, this is one challenge for many of you. So I will try to address this at the end of the session. Let's discuss some questions first and some topics first, and then I will come to this issue of time management. Okay. So let's do this. First, we have, there was also a question from one of you. This was a question from a comment which I have got that explained in today's class. So this was Constitution of India defines its basic structure in terms of federalism, secularism, fundamental rights and democracy. See, if you are looking at this from a prelims topic, it says that the Constitution of India defines. No, there is no such definition of basic structure by the Constitution. This basic structure has been defined by the judiciary. It has been done by judiciary, not the Constitution itself. Okay. So this first statement here is incorrect. Constitution has not defined it. The judiciary has defined the basic structure which is there in our Constitution. The second one is saying the Constitution of India provides for judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberties and to preserve the ideals on which the Constitution is based. Yes. So there is option of judicial review under the Constitution itself. If we talk about, then we have this Article 13, Article 32 and many other articles like Article 226, Article 137, many other articles which are providing the option of judicial review. So yes, the Constitution provides this option of judicial review to safeguard the citizens' liberties, like Article 32 we have got. Okay, Article 13 also we have got. So this second statement is correct. The first one is incorrect. So that was one question. That was one question which we have got from this comment section. Okay. If any one of you have the question like this, you can post there in the comment section. I will try to cover that in upcoming session also. Okay. Now, coming to the today's question related to science tech, like we are doing science tech special series. Okay, we are having this science tech special series. So we are discussing some questions. We are discussing some questions from January 24 onwards. Okay, so we have already gone for around 20 questions in the past, and now we are starting with the other question. This is mostly related to Fab 2024. These 5 questions which we are having today, they are related with Fab 2024. So here we have the first question. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to pseudo-satellites? With respect to pseudo-satellites. First one is, it has been developed by ISRO. Second is, it flies at a height almost equal to the height of troposphere. It is placed in lower Earth orbit, but it remains stationary. It can be placed in the orbit using SSLV, short SSLV, the small satellite launch vehicle. So here are 4 statements about pseudo-satellites. First one is, it has been developed by ISRO. It flies at a height almost equal to height of troposphere. It is placed in lower Earth orbit, but it remains stationary. It can be placed in the orbit using SSLV. The question is, which of the following statements are correct with respect to pseudo-satellites? A polity phobia. Okay, we will come with polity questions also. After doing this science and environment and economy, we will come to polity portions also. Okay. Both are incorrect. Okay, I will check that again. I will check that again, Israr. Okay. Okay, so some of you are giving option B. Some other answers are also C. What would be the answer for this topic? What would be the correct answer for this topic? B option. So I think yes, many of you know this. It has not been developed by ISRO. It has been developed by the National Aeronautics Laboratory only, National Aerospace Laboratory. Okay. So if we look at this, it has been developed by the National Aerospace Laboratory, which is there in Bangalore. Okay. It is a sort of unmanned air vehicle. It is a sort of unmanned air vehicle, and hence there is no such requirement of sending it via rocket. There is no such requirement of any rocket, SSLV, PSLV or GSLV. It is itself an unmanned air vehicle. At the same time, it is flying at a height of near about 18 to 20 kilometers, roughly around the height of troposphere. Then it is powered by solar energy, hence it can remain in the air for months. That's why it gets this name of pseudo-satellite. And it can be used for border surveillance. That is the main use of this. That is one of the main use of this pseudo-satellite. Okay. High altitude pseudo-satellite vehicle. That is the name of this, HAPSV. Okay. High altitude pseudo-satellite vehicle, or HPSV also. So this is one thing which has been developed. Coming to the next question. Consider the following statement with respect to cervical cancer. Human papilloma virus is one of the cause of cervical cancers. Second is, it is one of the rarest cancers in the world. Third is, there are no vaccines for prevention of this type of cancer. How many statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, and none. So question number 2. Question number 2, here we have got, consider the following statement with respect to cervical cancer. Human papilloma virus is one of the cause of cervical cancer. It is one of the rarest cancers in the world. There are no vaccines for prevention of this type of cancer. What will be the answer here? Question number 2. Question number 2. Okay, some answers are coming as option B. A few answer as option A also. Some as answer C as well. Okay. Now, if we look at this, let us see the question. First one is saying, human papilloma virus is one of the cause of cervical cancer. Yes, it is correct. It is one of the rarest cancer in the world. No. If you look at even India, you will find that it is the second most common cancer. Second most common cancer among women in India. Okay. So after breast cancer, this is the second most common cancer among women in India. So this second option is incorrect. There are no vaccines for prevention of this type of cancer. Actually, there is a vaccine of human papilloma virus which is administered at the age of 11 to 12 years for vaccination, for prevention against this human papilloma virus. Okay. So HPV vaccine is there. HPV vaccine, it is available, which can be administered at the age of 11 to 12 years. So this is the one mechanism of prevention of the cervical cancer among women. So there is existence of HPV vaccine. It can be administered at the age of normally age of 11 to 12 years. This is the time when it can be administered to women, and It can prevent against the cervical cancer. So that's why government has started focusing on this from the budget. In budget 2024, you might have seen that there was a special mention about this vaccination of cervical cancer, vaccination for cervical cancer. So human papilloma virus can be stopped via vaccine, which can help in preventing this cancer. So that is why there was a lot of focus on this cervical cancer during the time of budget 2024. You might have also seen that some celebrities also staged a prank with respect to the cervical cancer also, okay, near about the same time. So that's why it was there in the news. Okay, so here the answer will be only one, that is A. Okay, now coming to the next question, consider the following statement with respect to nano DAP. Nano DAP. It is an important source of phosphorus and potash for the plants. Second is saying nano DAP increases the surface area for absorption and increases the potential of leaching of nutrients. Third is saying the seeds can be soaked in nano DAP for better germination. So here we have three statements. First is saying it is an important source of phosphorus and potash for the plants. Second is saying nano DAP increases the surface area for absorption and increases the potential of leaching of nutrients. Third is saying the seeds can be soaked in nano DAP for better germination. So question number 3. Question number 3. What will be the answer? One answer as A, a few answer as B also. You can mention the question number along with it. This is question number 3. So what is the answer for question number 3? Question number 3 answer is A. Okay. I think A, B and C, I am getting all these three options. So what will be correct here? Option 2 is correct. Okay. Now see this question. First is saying it is an important source of phosphorus and potash. No, phosphorus and urea. It is an important source of nitrogen. Phosphorus and nitrogen. It is an important source of phosphorus and nitrogen for the plants, not potash. Okay, potash is provided separately. So it is an important source for phosphorus and nitrogen for the plants. Hence, the first statement here is incorrect. Okay. The second one is saying nano DAP increases the surface area for absorption. This part is correct. But second part is and increases the potential of leaching of nutrients. Leaching means that most of it is like wasted, most of it is not utilized. No, it rather than decreases the potential for leaching, not increase, rather than that it will be decrease in the potential of leaching of nutrients. Since most of the nutrients is going to be absorbed by the plant due to increase in the surface area. Hence there won't be leaching of the nutrients, there will be reduction or decrease in the leaching of the nutrients. So this second option here is incorrect. Third is saying the seeds can be soaked in nano DAP for better germination. This is the only correct option. This is the only correct option. The liquid nano urea, government has prescribed different standards for different crops, but normally in 1 liter or 1 kg, near about 2 to 5 ml of liquid nano DAP is mixed with it, and then the seeds are soaked under this solution for some time. It enhances the germination capacity of the seeds. Okay, so this germination of seeds is the correct one. This third option is the correct one. Answer will be A. Answer will be A, but you have to see which statement you were picking for option A. If you have picked the third option, then it is correct for you. If you have not picked the third option, then it is incorrect. Okay. Now, coming to the next question, in context of India, Schedule H and H1 drugs refers to which drugs? This is one thing which is there in the news from time to time. So, in context of India, Schedule H and H1 drugs refer to which drugs? First one is a type of drug which are used for treatment of rare genetic disorder. A type of drug which can be sold only by government stores. A type of drug which can be sold only against prescription of a doctor. A type of drug which has been developed using gene editing techniques. So you have Schedule H and H1 drugs. So what will be the correct answer here? Schedule H and H1 drugs. Question number 4. Question number 4. What will be the correct answer here? Okay, Dr. Avinash Patel. So yes, you must be aware about this one. Disha is also from medical background, so she must be aware about this. Yes. So for doctors, it is the advantage. So yes, if we look at this question, Schedule H and H1 drugs. If we talk about the Schedule H and H1 drugs, it is basically a type of drug which can be sold only against prescription of a registered medical practitioner, which can be sold only against the prescription of a registered medical practitioner. Okay, so that C option is correct here. Now, in again this Schedule H1, in Schedule H1, there is another thing. There is another thing that those drugs which are under the Schedule H1 category, in this there is an extra condition. There is an extra condition that the pharma stores have to maintain records of inventories of these drugs for 3 years. Means how much drug they have sold in the past 3 years, whom they have sold it to, and everything. How much drugs they are getting from the supplier, how much they are selling it to the people. So Schedule H1, there is an extra limit that you also have to keep the data book for almost 3 years. So that is Schedule H1. Okay. So yes, that was an advantage for those from the medical background. Now, coming to this one, which of the following statement is not correct with respect to CAR T cell therapy? It enhances the functioning of T cells of a person's body. It is used to treat blood-related cancers. India has not approved the use of CAR T therapy yet. And the fourth option is none of the above. The question is asking which of the following statement is not correct with respect to CAR T cell therapy. So question number 5. In question number 5, what will be the correct answer? D option, C option, okay. Where is Dr. Avinash Patel? You have not given the answer yet. You should be the first one to give the answer for this one. Disha has also said C option. Okay. Pragaj also saying option C. Sanjay, Harshit, Ritu. I think Israr is also saying option C. Okay. So, yes, in this, what we see that India has approved. Basically, we have got a next car 19. Next car 19. We have got this next car 19. This is an indigenously developed CAR T cell therapy which has been approved for use in India. NextCAR 19 is a CAR T cell therapy developed in India itself, which has been allowed for or which has been approved by the central government, Central Drug Standard and Control Organization. So it has approved the use of NextCAR 19 therapy. This CAR T cell therapy, if we talk about this, it is used for blood cancer. Okay. It is used for blood cancer. What we do under this, improve the efficiency or improve the T cells of body. Improve the T cells by adding chimeric antigen receptor. Chimeric antigen receptor. So what is the use of this chimeric antigen receptor? It helps the T cell to identify the cancer cells in the body and to remove them or kill them. Okay. So this is one thing, helps the T cell to identify and eliminate cancer cells. So right now this has been used for blood cancers. Okay. Right now this CAR T cell therapy has been used exclusively for blood cancer, and what we see that the T cells of the body, they are improved by adding a chimeric antigen receptor which improves the efficiency of these and helps in eliminating the cancer cells. Okay. So that will be the chimeric, and that will be about CAR T cell therapy. Okay. So from tomorrow we will have questions from March 2024. Okay. So that is one thing which we are going to do from tomorrow, March 2024. Okay. Given the wrong answer. Okay. So see, if we talk about this, now let's start the topic. The first topic is of course about the Delhi pollution. It is about the Delhi pollution. So let's see this. What we have seen, air quality in certain areas of Delhi, it has increased beyond even 500. In some of the application, you might have seen that it is listed, it is 1026 or more than that. Normally in air quality index, you will find that it is 0 to 500 which is listed. Beyond 500, there are some other applications which are showing it that it is even beyond 500. But normally the air quality index is having the measurement from 0 to 500 only. In some other applications or in some other softwares, it is comparing that how more it is there. Okay. So there you will find that it is written 900, 1000, 1200, etc. etc. Okay. So normally this AQI is measuring from 0 to 500, but yes, on a comparative basis, there is also different numbers which are being assigned. But in any case, you will find that now it has entered into severe plus category. Now we have entered into severe plus category in case of Delhi NCR region. Okay. So see, if you look at this area now, let us look at some of the facts which are going to be useful for you for mains also and prelims as well. First thing is, in 2019, around 4.2 million, means around 42 lakh people had premature death caused by outdoor air pollution. So in 2019, around 4.2 million people died due to outdoor air pollution. At the same time, 99% of the world's population, 99% of the world population is living in those areas where the pollution limit has exceeded WHO standards. Okay. So means it's not only the people of Delhi. Delhi people are like, in one of the news channels, it was showing that Delhi people are consuming like 40 cigarettes per day. That is the situation right now. Okay. So in Delhi, of course, it is very much high, but even in other part of the world, 99% of the world's population, they are living in such an area where there is very high level of pollution. Then India's average PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5, if you look at this, it is over 10 times higher than the WHO guidelines. So PM 2.5, which is one of the most harmful. Why it is most harmful? It can enter the cells or tissues. The cells or tissues of human body. Okay. Many a times it is also carcinogenic, means it can also cause cancer. Okay. So these particulate matters which are most harmful, it has been seen that across India, the level of particulate matter 2.5 is roughly 10 times above the WHO guidelines. So we are continuously having that level. Okay. Second thing is, now Delhi is the like pollution capital, but if you look at which cities are most polluted in India, so here we have one number, Begusarai from Bihar. Okay. It was declared as the most polluted city in India with PM 2.5 levels above 25 times. Okay. So Delhi is the most polluted capital city, but not the most polluted city. In most polluted city, we have the top number here from Begusarai. Okay. It is there in Bihar. Okay. Then particulate pollution, it is one of the greatest threat, reducing the average Indian life by 5.3 years. So this particulate pollution is reducing the life of Indians by almost 5.3 years. Suppose if anyone was supposed to live for 75 years, they will die by 70 years. Means on an average, health complications and all other things will reduce the life expectancy of these people. So this is what we see in terms of how the pollution is impacting us. How the pollution is impacting us. Okay. Then why it is there? Why we have this enormous pollution? One of the factor, like all of you know, is stubble burning. That is one of the cause, not the major cause, but one of the cause of pollution in India. It is not only located in one part of the country, it is there almost in many parts of the country. In Haryana and Punjab, since there is a very little time left for wheat cultivation, there is burning of stubbles of paddy in these two states. In other states also, there is a stubble burning. Okay. So stubble burning is one of the cause. Second cause is fossil fuel combustion from industrial activities. The fossil fuels like coal, diesel, petroleum, they are also used by the industries. That is also one of the major and regular source of pollution. Then we also have coal-fired power generation. Even right now, what we see that near about 55 to 60% installed capacity is from thermal power plants. Thermal power plants. So that is also one of the region that near about 55 to 60% that is still under the thermal power plants or oil, diesel, etc. Okay. So that is one of the challenge. Then we have vehicular emissions. Vehicular emissions. The number of petrol, diesel vehicles are rising enormously in India. We are having enormous number of vehicles on the roads. There is little uses of public transport, more preference of private transport. So that is one of the cause of this vehicular emissions also. Then we have road dust. There is construction and everything. There was this one article. I have not gone in the detail of it. It was simply saying that while Supreme Court is telling all the body across Delhi NCR region to control the pollution, there was one news article. I'm again saying I have not gone in the detail of it, but it was written there that even within the Supreme Court compound, there are construction activities going on. Okay. So construction activities, roads and all, they are also source of pollution. Okay. Then waste burning, like the waste materials and everything, they are also being burned by people in order to get rid of it. That is also one of the source. Now there is winter also, so many people will be using that burning of firewood or burning of various other substances for getting the heat. That also becomes a source of pollution. And household combustion is also one of the region. The households are also responsible for it, burning a number of things, causing the air pollution. So these are some of the causes of air pollution in Delhi NCR or throughout the country. Okay. Now, at the same time, why Delhi is more polluted? Why Delhi is more polluted? There is one simple thing. First thing is, if you look at the location of Delhi, what you will find that wind is coming from the western side also, eastern side also, and it is getting trapped over here in Delhi. Okay. From the western side and eastern sides, the wind is coming up. It is getting trapped there. It is not getting released outside. If these western winds become powerful enough, they will remove the pollution from here. But in the early months of December, or in the early part of December, or in November also, the westerly winds, the westerly jet streams, they are not very much prominent. And hence it remains trapped over this area for a longer period of time. So dust and pollutant remains trapped over Delhi due to weak circulation of westerly winds. The westerly winds are not very much powerful enough to drag it away from Delhi. So that is one of the reason. It is a landlocked area. So there is no influence of the sea or any other thing. So it is a landlocked area. The air also becomes almost still during this time of November to December. Okay. So air is becoming still. Air becomes still during November, December. So this is one of the prominent reason. Why we see that there is too much of pollution in this area. You also know that during this time there is hardly any rainfall or no rainfall. Okay. So there is also no rainfall in this region. During this time there is also no rainfall in this region as well. And plus we know the sources of pollution also. So due to multiple factors, being landlocked, air becomes still, the westerlies are not powerful enough, and no precipitation also. These all factors make Delhi the gas chamber of the country for almost 1 month. For almost 1 month, Delhi becomes the gas chamber. Okay. So this is one of the challenge in Delhi. Okay. So this location of Delhi itself is becoming a source of its pollution also. Okay. Anticyclonic condition is there. So anticyclonic condition is there in this entire North India region. That is also one of the factor. The air remains trapped. It is not getting dissipated away. The air is not getting dissipated away, and hence the pollution remains trapped over these regions for a longer period of time. So that is why Delhi is more polluted than Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, or any other city. Okay. So that is one of the reason. Okay. Now, you know that this term you might have seen in the news articles that we have got the GRAP 4, which is now enforced in Delhi. So Delhi has already crossed severe plus category. You might have seen trucks and all other things. They have been prevented from entering into Delhi. Many of the commercial vehicles which are of more than 10 years old, they are not allowed in Delhi. Okay. Construction activities have been banned. Schools and even up to class 12, it has been closed now. So all these activities are happening right now in Delhi. You don't have to remember when it is happening or what is being done under this. From time to time, the steps also vary. You don't have to memorize what happens under GRAP. You have to simply know about it, that what we do under this GRAP, graded response action plan. So according to the pollution, we take a graded response, starting from a few normal steps to even advanced levels like closing of thermal power plants, closing of schools and colleges, closing of entry of vehicles in Delhi, etc. So that is GRAP, which is being enforced now. Okay. Second, Hitler gas chamber. Yes, it is like if you go right now outside your home in Delhi, you will find that there is irritation in the eyes. That is one common thing which you can observe. If you are going out of your home in Delhi, you will find that there is irritation in the eyes. That is for sure. Okay. Then, now coming to the next part. So the Chief Justice of India, he has recused himself from hearing of a case related to Delhi Ridge. Okay. Related to like felling of trees from the Delhi Ridge. So we don't have to go into the case detail. We have to see this recusal part, that when it is recused, when the, like, is there any law about this? Is there any such thing about it? So let's see that what is this recusal. Recusal simply means that he has withdrawn himself from hearing of that case. He has withdrawn himself from hearing of that case. That is what we call as recusal. So what we see here, like, when a judge steps down from a case due to a potential conflict of interest, aiming to prevent any perception of bias in the decision making. Okay. So it is like when the judge think that if they are involved in this case, if they give judgment in this case, people might think that they have some interest or conflict of interest in this matter. So in that scenario, the judges can decide to recuse themselves from these cases. Okay. So recusal simply means dropping from a case or stepping down from a case. They are not hearing this case. It will be done by some other judge. It will be done by some other judge. So that is recusal. Now, why it is being done? It is being done because of few things, like past or personal connection with any party involved. If there is any party with which the judge is associated, they can recuse themselves from the case. Second thing is, previously represented one of the parties in the case. Suppose that we have any of the person who is there in High Court or Supreme Court. Maybe they might have been any advocate in any of the court. You know that advocates can also become the judges of High Court or Supreme Court. There are some terms and conditions like 5 years, 10 years, 5 years for High Court, 10 years for Supreme Court. Okay. So if there is any advocate or if there is any person who has been like representing one of the parties of the case, they can again recuse themselves. Then engaged in prior communication about the case outside court. If they have given any such observation in media or in any other forum about that case, then again they can recuse themselves from that case. Ruled on the case in a lower court. Like suppose a person was first there in lower court or a high court and they have heard that matter. Now they have been promoted to Supreme Court. Again the case comes to them, then they can recuse themselves from that case because they have already given a judgment on it. And now if they are the one hearing the case again, there might be a bias in the mind of the parties. Okay. There might be a perception of bias in the mind of the parties. There also they can recuse themselves. Then financial stakes in a company involved in the case. If there is any company in which the judges have the financial involvement or financial stake, they can again recuse themselves. Or the practice aligns with the principle that no one should judge their own case, ensuring the fairness. Okay. If they are anyhow involved with this, if they are anyhow involved with any of the party in the past, they can recuse themselves from the case. Okay. Is there any law for it? Is there any law for it? See, it is entirely based on judge's discretion and conscience. So it is entirely depending on the judge. There is no such law, no such constitutional provision which asks for recusal. It totally depends on the discretion of the judge and their own conscience. Okay, that if they want to do it, they can do it. Second thing is, like they can also recuse themselves on the request of the lawyers or involved parties. Okay. So they can also take the request, but finally the decision is again there only. No judge can force the recusal, no lawyers or no parties can force the recusal of a judge. So this option of recusal remains with the judge only. The lawyers or the parties, even if they want a judge to recuse, it entirely depends upon the judge whether they want to recuse themselves or not. Okay. Then the third thing is, if a judge recuses, the case is reassigned to a different bench. Okay, so that is one thing which is done. There is no such formal rules for recusal. There is no such formal rule, but there is one such thing in Ranjit Thakur versus Union of India case in 1987. The Supreme Court ruled that recusal should consider whether a party might reasonably perceive bias. Okay. So if a party may perceive bias, then the judges can, if a party may perceive bias, then the judges can recuse themselves from that case. So there is no such formal rule or anything, but yes, there is one observation of the Supreme Court that even if there is a perceivement, even if there is a perception of bias among the parties, then to ensure the fairness, the judges might recuse from that case. So that is what is done in the case of recusal. I hope that is clear. Fourth point. The fourth point was this one. Ruled on the case in a lower court. This point. Are you talking about this fourth point? Like, let me explain it. Suppose that there is a judge X, okay, and case is 101, case number 101. So while this person was there in high court, let us say that in high court he has like talked about this case, let us say in 2020. later on in 2024, he is now promoted to Supreme Court judge. He is now promoted to Supreme Court judge. So he has given the verdict on this case 101 in 2020. Now he has been promoted as a Supreme Court judge. Again, this court case comes under appeal. Again, this case is coming under appeal to the same judge. So normally in that case, the judge might recuse themselves from hearing of this case, since they have already given a verdict on this in 2020. I hope that is clear now. That if case 101, it was given, this person X has given a verdict here. He has given a verdict on this case in 2020. In 2020 itself. Again, the case comes under appeal in 2024 when the same person has become a Supreme Court judge. Now he might recuse himself from hearing on this. Okay. So I hope that is clear. Now, coming to the next topic, we have one thing called as G20 Summit. So G20 Summit, you know that there are 20 countries who are part of this. So can you tell me just one question from this? When it was formed? When was the G20 formed? When did we have this formation of G20? When did we have this formation of G20? Anyone? When did we have this formation of G20? Not where, when, like when this G20 was formed as a group, when this was organized. Yes, it was there in 1999. Okay, so basically, like what we see that this G20 was formed in 1999 as a response to the international financial crisis which was going on at that time. Okay. As a response to the international financial crisis which was going on during that time, especially after the crisis in Southeast Asian countries and everything. So, due to this international, in this pretext of international financial crisis, this G20 was formed. Okay. So, if we look at this, it is having this part of building a just world and a sustainable planet. Okay. So, what is the aim of this G20? It talks about social inclusion, fight against hunger and poverty, and reform of institutions of global governance. That is the aim. That is the aim here. Social inclusion, fight against hunger and poverty, and reform of global institutions. Okay. So this is the G20's main agenda or main motto. Okay. If we look at this, it was formed in 1999 due to this world economic crisis. Okay. It aims for global economic growth, shaping global architecture, addressing issues like climate change, energy, etc., etc. So all the organizations have almost the same goal: economy, then environment, global architecture. It is common for all of them. If we look at the countries, we can see one thing, that when we talk about the countries here, this one indicates the total countries of G20. We have G7 first. This is the G7. G7 includes Germany, UK, France, Canada, Japan, Italy, and US. Okay. So in the G7, we have got 7 countries. Here we have Germany. Here we have got Germany. Then we have got this UK. France is also here. Canada is here. Okay. Then Japan is here. Italy is here. And US is here. So these 7 countries form the G7. If you add Russia here, earlier it used to be called as G8. But then after this Russia-Ukraine crisis or Russia-Ukraine war, it became G7 again. So there is G7 and G8 also. When you include Russia in it, it becomes G8 countries. When you remove the Russia from it, it becomes G7. And then 12 other countries, if you add them, it becomes the G20. In 12 other countries, you can see Turkey is there, European Union is there, Argentina is there, Brazil, South Korea, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, China, Australia, India, and South Africa. So you don't have to like memorize each and every name, although they can ask about it. There is no such problem in that. They can ask anytime about the G20 countries. If you try to look at it from continent wise, it might be easier for you to remember this. For example, if you look at Asia, we have one country under this, Japan from here. We have one country from here, Japan. Then in the G8, we have another country from Asia, that is Russia. Then you can see India is there. We have Saudi Arabia. We have also presence of China over here, and that will be all. Okay. So Turkey counts itself as European country, although majority of it lies in Asia, but they are counted as like a European country. Okay. So we have got this Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, India, and then Russia and Japan. So these 5 names you should be aware about, because they might ask you about the Asian countries. They might get you confused among Saudi Arabia and UAE. So there you have to be very much clear that out of Saudi Arabia and UAE, Saudi Arabia is part of this. After India is normally there, you know that. They will not ask about India. They will not ask about China. They will not even be asking about Russia or Japan. They are very prominent countries. They can ask about Indonesia. So Indonesia is also a member of this organization. Okay. So this we have got Indonesia also there, Saudi Arabia there. Then we have got this Russia, Japan, India, and China. So these countries, these 6 countries are from Asia. Then we have got other countries from other part of the world. Okay. They are the G20 nations. Okay. They are the G20 nations which we have got. Now, one remaining topic is there. We will cover that in the next session about Horn of Africa, because we have got another session at 7 p.m. Okay. Today at 7 p.m. we will have another session on answer writing. Okay. We will have another session on answer writing. Okay. So on this same channel, you can join. We are having this session at 7 p.m. today. So there I will be discussing about this entire thing. Those who are beginners also, those who have written some answers also, there will be something for everyone. Even if you are just starting or you have already written some answers, for everyone, there will be something in that session. Also, we will have this answer writing practice also, where you can submit your answers as well. Okay. So let's meet. Let's meet at 7 p.m. now. Significant improvement. Okay, so that is good. Yes, I have been seeing this, that many of you are able to give most of the answers very much correctly. So that is something which I am also proud of all of you, that you have been giving most of the questions, most of the answers very much correctly. So that is good. You are not getting time. Okay, you are having this. Yes, there was this issue of time management for many of you. See, on an average, you will need around 8 hours on daily basis. Now suppose that some of you might not get any chance of 8 hours for a study. What you can do is, suppose you were supposed to give the examination in 2025, you can extend it by 1 year, because there is no solution. You cannot leave your graduation or college examination in the present time. You all know that what basic thing you have to do. You have to read the current affairs, you have to read the static portion, you have to read the optionals also, you have to do some answer writing practice. There are 4 things which every one of you have to do on daily basis. Okay. If we talk about this time part, so see, current affairs is one thing which all of you have to do. Suppose you are giving 60 minutes here, then also you can be sure that, okay, in 60 minutes we have got the current affairs of the day. Okay. Second thing is, like suppose if you are talking about GS paper and optional. So for optional, you will have to give near about 2 hours on daily basis. For this GS paper also, you will need roughly around 4 hours per day. And for answer writing and all other thing, for answer writing, practice and everything, you will need 1 hour on daily basis. Okay. Now, if you are not getting that much of time, then of course you will have to change your schedule for the examination, because you cannot leave the college, you cannot leave it. So in that scenario, you can move that target, that suppose you were targeting for 2025, you can shift it to later also for 2026 also. Okay. Also on weekends, if you are getting the time on Saturday, Sunday, utilize that time for covering whatever backlog you have got. So I cannot arrange time for you. This is the minimum time which you will have to give. This is minimum time. There is no trick. There is no shortcut. So you will have to give at least this much of time. Okay. So there is no such trick or anything. Try to arrange at least 40 to 50 hours per week. Maybe on weekends you can get some extra time and you can adjust it for the remaining ones. Okay. So make a target that you will have around 45 to 50 hours of study per week for UPSC. This is the time which you will require anyhow. Okay. Okay, I will use white background. Okay, sorry, white color. So thank you so much. Yes, you can pick one subject. That is also fine. You can pick either 1 or 2, but do the optionals along with it. You cannot like prepare your optional in just 1 month and 2 months or 2 months and then leave it. No, it is a continuous process. You will have to give time on optionals. Okay. So see you all at 7 p.m. Thank you so much, and we will meet tomorrow to discuss the remaining things. Thank you so much. Take care.